Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Squalified. I am Caleb here with Trevin.
Yeah.
Still your predictions champ,
Yeah.
and Zach is behind the camera. So we are just going to talk.
Wait, hold on. We're forgetting someone.
Oh, we don't have the whole setup set up.
No, we don't. One sec.
Do you have the photo? Yes, you do have the photo.
I actually favorited it in case we need to do it again. And go.
Can you see him on the?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And Gogo's here. So 4. The pay-per-view. Let's just start off right away. I think I just want to get an overall vibe on this pay-per-view.
Eh.
There was like sorry, I think there's only one good match on this show.
Yeah, a lot of the matches were a little too quick. Like, I get it was a 7-match card, but if you're gonna book it like that...
Okay, I misspoke. The Cody Gunther match was good. I just wasn't a big fan of the ending, but I'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But we'll get into it. As you've already heard, he is still your predictions champ, and I am the loser of predictions this time.
Yeah.
And I think we've decided eggs. I'm getting Paul to do eggs.
We'll work out the details. It's still going to have a trivia aspect. But right now we're looking at egging you for every wrong question. But TBD.
I was just going to take the egg in like a man, but you want to test my intelligence.
I'm just going to snipe him from a distance with that. He's not going to know when, but he's
This is not Call of Duty. You're not going to cross-map me with a fucking egg.
I will.
All right. Let's get into the show.
We open with
the Bloodline versus Bloodline 2.0.
Yeah.
Basically the OG Bloodline and the new Bloodline.
This match was disappointing.
Disappointing. It was quick. The only thing of note that really happened, in my opinion, was Jay and Roman had this interaction where Roman was like, tag me in, and Jay tagged in Jimmy instead of Roman, basically restating that we're equals. And yeah, that was, I mean, Roman did get pinned clean in this match by Solo.
Yep.
Solo is the 4th person since he started the title reign and stuff to pin him clean on pay-per-view. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They really put Solo over in making him in the new Bloodline seem legit by beating the old one, because they were able to plan their weaknesses.
Yeah. Exploit the desynchronization a little bit. Because that was another thing too, is that like there was still action, but there wasn't like the action you were expecting. Like, you look at how this match finished, it's like Roman threw 5 Superman punches, be it some of them being to some interfering members of the new Bloodline, but still, that's a lot of Superman punches.
Yeah.
But also we had from the OG Bloodline 2 people whose finishers are a spear. We saw no spears. We saw the moonsault from Jacob and 2 Samoan spikes from Solo. So it's like, even for the finish, like, there was not a lot of like finish him moments.
I know Gordon and I were talking on the way here. He had to leave, but you're talking on the way here. He hates that the spears used so much as a finisher, and he really hates that finishers are used so much in matches. So I think he would actually kind of like that there was so few, really. I just...
You agree, Gogo?
I think he agrees. So after the match, they started to circle around Roman
Oh yeah.
And then they jumped Roman, and then Jay and Jimmy got in, the numbers advantage, they got jumped. And then Sami Zayn came out. And they circled Solo. And for no reason in particular, because he's never done the haluva kick like this, he decides to do the haluva kick to Solo in the middle of the ring. Roman goes for a Superman punch, Solo ducks out the way, and Sami kicks Roman in the face. So, this is actually going to play a big part.
In Survivor Series.
Yeah, this is going to build Survivor Series a lot.
Yeah.
So this...
Because that's the thing. The team layout has been predictable. Like, we know who's going to be on New Bloodline. We know who's going to be on the OGs. But what I like is how they're rebuilding the OGs.
Mm-hmm. And they have to work together. They have to re-trust one another. Because I don't think, I wouldn't expect Jay to trust Roman after just saying one word and that word being yeet.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to need a
Like-
verbal...
Like, you even saw it in this match. Jay still holds some bit of that grudge.
Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like Jay is going to want some formal acknowledgement that they are equals from Roman. But I think that Roman's going to try to get out of it, maybe by using the wise man to do it. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But, yeah, so this is going to play heavily into Survivor Series and how they build it up.
Yep.
Rating
the match?
Rating the match, I'd give it a C plus, B minus.
Yeah, C+. It's like, the hype into this match made it feel like it was gonna be a lot more climactic than what it was.
I feel like it didn't live up to the hype, but I also feel like that helps the match somewhat, so I will go with the B minus. Because it makes me expect more out of War Games.
Oh yeah, that's fair, yeah.
If War Games doesn't live up to the hype, this match doesn't go down retroactively, but it just makes the rivalry seem worse.
Yeah.
But with that being said, we are going to move on to the next match. Or no, you haven't. No, yeah, you said C minus.
Yeah, C+.
C plus, sorry.
Yeah.
We will get to match of the night.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, it just is. It's match of the night. The Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team match for the Women's Tag Team titles. I don't know if I just made that sentence redundant that I just said. But it was Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair,
versus
Damage Control represented by Io Sky and Kairi Sane.
Versus
The Meta Girls from the Metaphor represented by Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend.
versus
Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
Cool. And I do like this style of Fatal 4-Way tag matches where only two teams can be active at the same time. Because it just increases the momentum, increases the action as well.
Yeah, because
So many shenanigans can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember, it's not this match, but the way that you're talking about this match, how it was set up, there was one match that the New Day participated in on Monday Night Raw in a Fatal 4-Way tag match, and they both were the legal competitors. So they went to square up, and then Kofi laid down for Xavier to pin him. And then everyone jumped in.
Yeah.
Don't
try to be cheeky with it.
There's a lot of shenanigans that can work, but this match was just straight up all gas, no breaks from the start. A rare Saudi W, they got a "This is awesome" chant.
Yeah.
That was fucking amazing because they were silent at the start.
Yeah. I mean, also just them pulling out certain things like the double ringside suicide moves from Damage Control.
Mm-hmm. And then you had fucking Chelsea Green climb up to the middle rope.
Yeah, she's
to
like
the middle turnbuckle and said, "No. Second turn or the first turnbuckle. No. Apron. No."
No. Yeah. But yeah, in my predictions I had Chelsea and Piper going over just because I love seeing their shenanigans. I love what they have brought to the tag circuit and also this single circuit a little bit with some filler rivalries the SmackDown Women's World title has, but political calls. It is election season. But yeah, no, it also makes sense for the winners being champions retain, just like you and Gogo predicted.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, in the moment, I was like, no, why? You have your chance to revamp the single circuit before Mania, before the Rumble. Because you were actually bringing it up in our prediction video also, how them losing the titles here would help add significance to their Rumble spot. Because they are advertised to be at the Rumble.
Mm-hmm. But I just think they're going to have a tag team match.
Possibly. But, I mean, we keep saying it also how the women's, or just how the roster in general is stacked. There is a lot of names on there. You also have NXT pseudo call-ups to consider for the Rumble, but it's like, still, these two women people want in the single titles picture are trapped in this limbo still.
Mm-hmm. I think what happens, and I'm hopeful for it, I just think this leads to them being the first one to have the mid-card title. Because I really want a women's mid-card title. They are not using the tag division as they should. Granted, the team that I think could take it off of them, of Asuka and Kairi, Asuka is injured right now. They just let go of another person that was a women's tag team wrestler, Indy Hartwell.
Yeah.
They didn't use Tegan Nox for anything. Tegan Nox could have been added to a tag team and just thrown in there. But they're not really using the women's tag division. Now we have teams, like some that can actually challenge, but right now I think they just took out all the challengers except for, what was it? Pure Fusion Collective.
Mm.
And
Even then.
Yeah, and I think that's just like a one and done match. I would have loved to see the Way versus them, but Indy's now gone. So I just think this leads to the mid card eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to hold it till Mania.
Because that's another thing too, is that as we bring up a couple times, they are running out of challengers.
Yeah. So it's just only a moment of time before. And they could bring up, well, no, because they're also not using, I forget her new name, but Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter. They're not using them. Don't know why.
Mm.
I think Catanzaro might still be injured, but I'm not sure. They're not using her. I did see some spoilers for Raw, but I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah.
But there is someone that they are interacting with in this episode that I don't know if we want it to go that way, but that'll be for another time.
Yep.
How would you rate this match?
A-. Like,
I'd give it like an A.
yeah. It's like, it definitely was match of the night, but it's like, shenanigans are a weird thing where they both add and subtract from the match. It's like,
I think with the way that they did Chelsea's, it added to the match. Sometimes it can subtract, but I haven't really seen a lot of the shenanigans that distract, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like, it was good. It's just, I don't know why I don't actually have a good reason why I feel like I need to rewatch it to give it a more firm grade, but it's just A- for me. Possibly because, just this title reign, it's just I feel like I'm lowering the grade because this title reign, from how dominant their booking is, subtracting from the circuit as a whole for me, maybe. Maybe that's why I'm a little lower on it.
Yeah, that could be a reasoning for it. I am not mad with the reign. I just think they should have kept it more on Alba Fire and Isla Dawn just for a little longer.
Yeah.
I kind of would have preferred them losing it at this pay-per-view. But can't rewrite history.
No.
I think Gordon said that this was one of his contenders for match of the night. So
Because of damage control.
yeah, well, yeah.
He is a huge fan of Damage Control.
But I think he also agrees with the clips that he saw that the match was amazing. So, yeah, they got a "This Is Awesome" chant. That was the most surprising thing at the night.
Yeah.
But we'll
As you
move
said,
on.
at a Saudi
Yeah.
show.
But we'll move on.
Yep. It is now one of the crowning moments of this PLE, the inaugural Women's Crown Jewel Championship match with your Women's World Champion Liv Morgan versus your Women's WWE Champion Nia Jax.
Yeah. So this match,
You want to talk about shenanigans?
Yes, shenanigans. I feel, and this might be a thing that I might get some slack for. I think the failed cash in lowers the grade of the match. I would just get my grade out the way right now. It was a B, and now it's like a C plus. I think this is where the cash in should have happened because, and let's be honest, if Tiffany cashed in, she wasn't eligible for that championship,
No.
so she wasn't getting it.
No.
She's cashing in for one of the women's titles.
Yeah.
So, but also at the same time, I can agree. I can see why it would detract if she does cash in during the match. If she cashes in,
Yeah.
I think after the match, it's
She
fair.
should have.
She should have. They just kind of replayed highlights from the match. Also, Judgment Day got involved, and I am not surprised.
No. But
I don't.
Yeah.
It's not a thing of like I hate them by the ringside because I think if you're in a group and you're a heel, you should have ringside help because that's just good. I am just not happy with seeing Raquel and Dominic on the outside and not anyone else.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, like the main reason why I'm upset, I don't know why Dom is there. Like I get it, they're on screen and Dom was ringside for Rhea's matches, so maybe I'm just making a redundant case. But I don't know. I just think like the action was good.
Yeah. The interference with playing hot potato with the briefcase with like Judgment Day has it, Tiffy has it, the ref has it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that was a cool spot providing distractions for getting Nia down. But that brings me up to another point. Nia was down. You could have cashed in there.
Mm-hmm.
But no, instead they basically roll Nia out and had the crowning ceremony there, which basically confirmed cash in ain't happening right now.
And that was to give Liv her moment, so I understand why.
Yeah.
Like I completely understand why they didn't do the cash in.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't. It was to give Liv her moment. She deserved her moment. She got her moment. I'm upset with the final interference that led to the win. Because Nia just stared at Raquel while Raquel slowly ran to her and kicked her. So, other than that,
The interferences were fun. Some of them were also just awkward.
mm-hmm. I saw that a lot of people online groaned when Judgment Day came out. I expected it. I don't know why people don't expect them to be ringside. The only way you keep people out from interfering is like a steel cage or a Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And this was not
Or
that kind of match. So.
Or what we've seen from Bloodline and Judgment Day shenanigans, them having a ban from ringside match.
Yeah. So, all in all, this match, yeah, I said C+. So.
Probably same C+. Action was good. It was a good bout. Interferences wonked out a little bit. No cash in brings it down as well.
Yeah, Liv got pyro. She
Yeah.
also got a ring. Triple H said that they will get rings
Yeah.
every winter.
Similar to Super Bowl rings.
Yep. He also thinks that it would be a cool idea to see who can collect the most. So now we're just welcoming Thanos into our world.
Yeah. That does also bring up the question of, like, will future Crown Jewel championships be triple threat or
I don't think so.
no?
I don't think we're ever going to see a triple threat. I think it's just for
The two.
the two main card titles. I'm not a big fan of making it seem like one is less than the other.
How they did the matches, it definitely seemed like they were still on equal-ish footing
They were. I think
for both matches.
I think the interference at the end taints Liv's win.
But it is a part of her character, just like
yeah,
how
it is a part of her character.
Yeah,
so
just like how all her actual factual title defenses
Mhm.
have been won by interference.
And I'm also looking at this in kayfabe, at this like this is real. Like, if this was any other sport, if you won something by disqualification, they're going to say it's tainted, no matter what happens.
Yeah,
So, I'm looking at it in kayfabe.
yeah,
Out of kayfabe, it was a good ending.
yeah,
It served her character well.
yeah,
And it's good that it served her character well. It made sense.
yeah.
But yeah, it's still C plus just because that cash-in didn't happen.
Yeah.
But like I said, I understand it. So
Yeah.
we will move on to the next match.
Yep. Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins. Before the bell even rings.
Brawl. Also, shout out to Bronson Reed with that MF Doom inspired singlet. All capital letters when they spell out the
Oh
man's
yeah,
name.
I should also make out this comment. Everyone's gear was awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, like the women's tag.
Funnily enough, I think the worst gear that we saw that night was Tiffany's. I did not like the yellow with the pink boots.
No, yeah. But yeah, no, everyone's gear for the restrictions Saudi does have on the woman, and not so much for the men, but still the men gotta show up still.
Mm-hmm.
Gear was good all around, honestly.
Gear was good. I really liked Seth's gear. It was like leather mixed with jean material, so
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. But yeah, we had this big brawl.
Yep.
They went up the ramp a little bit. They came back down the ramp a little bit. And then they brawled around the outside.
Yep.
Bronson threw Seth into a chair that immediately cut Seth.
Yep.
So he was bleeding on his back.
Yep.
And then we get into the ring.
Yep.
Bell rings.
Ding ding.
Ding, ding, ding. And then Bronson immediately hits a fucking tsunami. And then he is gloating and goes for another.
Yep.
Misses.
Yep.
And then,
They have
like, legitimately, I agree with the announcers. If he would have went for that first one and just pinned him, he probably would have won. But he didn't.
Yeah, they eventually make it back outside of the ring after a pretty decent bout, honestly. And Bronson, a little winded, realizes that he needs to get more stamina beaten out of Seth, grabs the top of the steel stairs, and goes to try to hit him. But Seth, being the veteran he is,
Kicks out that knee. Bronson face first into the steps. And then, like I pointed out when we were watching, it's environmental at this point.
Yep.
That's not a DQ. Stomp
Stomp.
on the stairs.
Yep.
Rolls him into the ring. Another stomp. And then a super stomp.
From the top rope.
1, 2, 3. I like how they booked Bronson losing. I was saying this in the car over here. I think they're booking him like Godzilla, and this was the perfect way to do it.
Man needed all the stomps.
He needed all the stomps. He needed one on the stairs. He needed to also hit his face on the stairs before that. And then 2 more stomps. I will agree. I'm saying I like it. I don't like how they used the stomp 3 times. Because I am not a big fan. It's just like Cody's Crossroads. Not a big fan of someone having to use their finisher 3 times. But in this context, I can understand why it happened.
Yeah. But Seth is celebrating. Seth is heading up the ramp, and all of a sudden, Bronson, bloodied, gets up, stares Seth down, and
you can read that man's lips. He just says, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And
he also says, like, "You want to be famous? I can make you famous."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like, will we see a trilogy out of this rivalry?
Gordon gave me some insight on the way over. He said that this match felt like it could have just been on a Raw. I can kind of agree with that. It could have been on a Raw. It did not need to be on the PLE.
Yeah.
It was a good thing to give Bronson his moment on the PLE.
Yeah.
I would have preferred it if they gave him his moment and he won. Because I think Seth could afford the loss at the same time as Bronson can afford the loss.
Yes. This was a weird rivalry where both have their reasons for winning, both have excuses for losing.
Mm-hmm. But Seth won. I think the match was a B.
I also think it was a B. Half of the match being the ramp brawl was alright, but I would have liked the action in the ring to make the match feel more like a match.
Mm-hmm.
You build this up, you built it up with brawl, so it made sense it starts with the brawl, but it's this is also the dead center of the card, so it needs to be the match that either rebuilds or keeps up the momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So it did its job of keeping the momentum stagnant because it still was a banger match, but for middle of the card matches, like how we've had odd number match cards for it, I like the middle being keep me hyped up. This match was sort of just that was good, I'm looking forward to the next match. It's not really yo, what's coming up?
Yeah, it was kind of weird because usually it's the first match is the hot match. You get the crowd excited right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then you usually have a middling match, and then you have another hype match, then another middling match, then the main event. But this time it was mid, hype, kind of mid. It was good.
Yeah.
I mean, but it didn't hype anyone up really, because a lot of the show also has to do with the crowd.
Yeah.
We're at home, so our experience is one thing. We could be loving it, but also at the same time, if the crowd's not loving it, it's hard to feel the hype.
Yeah, even at home watching online, audiences feed off that crowd hype. You will catch me and Caleb chanting along with the crowd for certain moments.
Mm-hmm. I love, because I've never been to a wrestling event, so I've never felt that energy in person. So I feel the energy in my household, and I've been doing that since I was a child.
Yeah.
But if this match, it was good.
Yeah.
It kept the hype.
Yep.
In my opinion, I think they got a couple spikes of hype.
Mm-hmm.
They had a couple high points in the match. I really think my favorite spot of the match was Seth getting thrown into the chair.
Yeah.
I just think that was a funny ass spot.
It's funny how a lot of the reactions were from just probably a very gruesome moment. Some of those crowd spikes where Seth getting thrown onto the chair, the stomp onto the steel steps. It's
the
people
face into the steps.
Yeah. People react to pain.
Mm-hmm.
Whether
it's wrestling. That's why they're there to watch someone get hit with a big move.
Yeah.
That's always the big pop. But we'll move on to our next match.
Yep. Which didn't even happen.
Yep. So it was Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. It was going to happen, and then this just turned into a brawl.
Yep. Ended up going all the way into the audience. They fall from the balcony onto a utility table, and the match is called up. But
well, Kevin puts Orton on the table, and then he goes up for an elbow drop and not a swanton, but puts him through the table, and that is the match.
Yeah.
No contest. Also, no point for
Yeah.
us because we do not count no contests
Yep.
in this household.
No. Also, a little things of note: both these men are getting hefty fines. Kevin attacked a couple refs.
Then Randy
Randy-
RKO'd Pierce.
Yup, which is like that ain't even your GM. You're just pissed off.
Yeah, so I honestly, this kind of reinvigorated me.
Yeah.
This got me real hype.
But then
I'm gonna give this segment anyway, so it's not even a match. I'm gonna give this
Yeah.
segment an A. It
Yeah.
did this job.
you were a little disappointed that it didn't lead to a match in the moment.
I understand why now. Kevin Owens and Kathy Kelly got into a dune buggy accident when they got to Saudi. That's why they did not have a match. Surprisingly, I mean, they're both fine. Kevin obviously is fine. He was doing physical stuff, and Kathy was there doing backstage stuff. So they're fine. Kevin, when he was describing it in kayfabe, was like, I bet you Cody or Randy did something to this buggy. That's why we crashed. So I can understand why Kevin was like, you know what? I'm going to kick this man's ass. He fucking made this dune buggy crash. So, yeah, I'm going to give it an A. I was disappointed at first that it did not lead to a match, but I just love brawls, man.
Yeah.
Brawls are one of the most fun parts of wrestling.
That's why we're upset that more than 2 people multi-man backstage brawl is still glitched in 2K24.
Fix your game. I mean, it's
also-
not going to happen.
No.
They're right around the corner.
They also
from-
took out all the modded versions that you can do multi-man.
Yep. So now it's just broken, which sucks. Because we've even tried loading into the game and then assigning controllers, and nope, it's still only 2. But that's a tangent.
Yeah.
We're not going to try to talk long. I mean, we probably already are.
No, but
Moving on. Oh,
Yep.
no, you grade this segment.
oh yeah, I also give it an A. It's like the amount of action for how short of a stint it was, with the potential of aggravating something from the accident, and also just Randy still having back and knee problems as well. It's like they pulled no stops.
You know what? A rare thing, Zach. Give me your grade for this segment.
B-.
B minus? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask your reasoning off camera because you're probably not going to want to talk about it on camera. But I want to poke your brain for that reasoning. But
Yeah.
we move on to our United States Championship triple threat match. LA Knight
Yeah.
versus Carmelo Hayes, who is him, and Andrade El Idolo. They all have catchphrases and nicknames, so I wanted to include that. This match, in my opinion, was middling. There's good action.
Yes.
I mean, it happened.
Like-
there was good action in the match, but it was just a mid-match.
Yeah.
We all knew LA was going to win.
Yeah.
Though I do love the double pin spots. Each man went for a double pin,
Yeah.
and that is
Which
honestly,
the commentators actually commented of, like, these double pin spots are risky, but it makes sure that no man has an excuse of why they lost.
But who took the pinfall in this match? Was it Carmelo? Yes, it was Carmelo.
It was Carmelo.
So Andrade has a
Yeah.
reason for a
Wait.
rematch.
Yes, but all 3 of these men were parts of real good bouts. Like, I still can never see Andrade's spin elbow coming. Like, we have
He's
watched
so
this.
good at it.
We have watched this man for several matches. He even pulls it out in speed matches too. It's like, why? We know it's gonna happen in the match. How do we never see it coming?
That's what makes a signature or a finisher good. Being able to hit it on anyone and at any time. Like, I love some people's finishers, but some people's finishers are just too convoluted. Like the Undertaker, Tombstone Piledriver, you can't hit that out of nowhere. You have to lift someone, spin them, and then do it. Kind of the AA you can do out of nowhere. Because, yeah, can pick someone up real quick and then throw them.
But like it's why the RKO is very famous even outside the wrestling community.
The Stunner, Sweet Chin Music. I mean, Sweet Chin Music was convoluted because he tuned up the band, but
Yeah.
Super Kick in that degree. A Stomp. Like, there's good finishers that can happen out of nowhere, and Andrade has that.
Yeah.
Also, I think the Blunt Force Trauma, but I am also just... I don't like how that move looks. I just think it looks weak. I don't know why. I just don't like the BFT. But, I mean, action was good.
Yeah.
The only thing that brings down the match was the predictability, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
When a
as
match,
I say mid, I do mean good. So,
Yeah.
I will retract the mid statement. It was a good match. I'll give it a B minus.
I'll give it also a B minus. It's like, yeah, predictability is a factor. Like everyone was expecting LA to retain because of the fact that it was a triple threat, the fact that like it was caused by the interruption of game 7.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like this just leads to the rivalry still being there if they need to pull them out of their pocket.
Yeah. I think this leads to an Andrade LA Knight match. Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know where LA Knight goes from here. I don't see a lot of people in this U.S. Title division, mainly because they just let go Baron Corbin, and I would have loved to see Baron Corbin versus LA Knight.
Yeah.
But we'll never see that match now. But now for our main event of the evening.
The inaugural Crown Jewel Men's Championship with your undisputed champion, Cody Rhodes, versus your World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther.
This match,
There was action. It was a good bout.
it was a good bout. It was
Yes.
the second best match of the night, in my opinion.
Yes, because
I am
these two...
just not a... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, these two are traditional style wrestlers, which led to a lot of striking. It led to a lot of grappling. It led to kind of sleeper positions from both men as well. Like both trying to make the opponent tap out. But, spoiler alert, Cody did not win with the Crossroads trifecta. He still hit 2 during the match, but...
It was refreshing to see him not win like that.
Yep.
But
how did he win, Caleb?
he won via a back pin.
Yeah.
Um,
So, yeah, he was going for a super Cody cutter, but Gunther caught him trying to put him in a sleeper hold. And then a lot of parallels to a Bret Hart match.
mhm.
Cody caught some momentum, rolled up, had enough leverage to keep Gunther on the mat for the 1, 2, 3.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I did say the ending was disappointing. The ending was disappointing because I was not a fan of how it happened, but the way it happened, and by that, Gunther came into this match saying he's putting Cody to sleep, and he made his mind up on it, and that's what cost him the match.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wanted to do nothing else but put him to sleep.
Yeah.
He had the match won so many times, and I think that's what frustrates me.
Yeah.
Is
He
that
didn't want it to be by pinfall. He wanted it for sure.
yeah, and so that is where I think it lessens the match in a degree.
Yeah, but personally, like I brought it up in a couple segments, I do like how this showed Gunther's hubris, but it also played off the fact of what I think is his fear in this is that the competition is getting better.
Mhm.
He's had to go for sleeper holes, so he walked up to Cody and confidently says, "You know what? I'm gonna finish the match with a sleeper hole. Like I ain't even gonna go for pins." It's like so it's like it could be a factor of like he understood that Cody's good, that he's just trying to play off the confidence of like it's gonna end in a sleeper hold. But it's like I do think this could be a moment of how they start Gunther's Get Humbled arc, because I keep bringing it up. The competition's getting better, Gunther. You're gonna get humbled.
Yep. And now we have a fatal 4-way tonight on Raw for a
Number one contendership.
yep
With-
with Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and Sheamus.
Yep.
So we're gonna figure out his next challenger there. Cody, don't know because he put out his schedule for November and Survivor Series was off of it, when he usually puts PLEs. So he might be missing Survivor Series. And quickly, let's just get the grades out the way.
Yep.
I'm gonna give it a B.
C.
I'm gonna give it a B because I liked the action in the match.
Oh wait, for the match, yeah, no, the Cody versus Gunther match, I'll give it an A minus. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt.
I'm gonna give it a B,
Yeah.
B plus. I was a fan of the action in the match. Just not that big of a fan. I'm not a big fan of the old school traditional matches. But that is what
Yeah.
they did.
As a martial artist, I am a fan of the go for a couple jabs, go for what you can.
Mm-hmm.
But I would get how it doesn't necessarily play into some of the flashy elements that professional wrestling has
And
established with history.
they qualmed my fears, honestly, coming into this pay-per-view with thinking that one of these champions is going to look weak.
No.
Because they ended up not looking weak, it took Nia just like distractions upon distractions to get her to lose. And then it took a roll-up to beat Gunther.
Yeah.
So honestly, no champion walks away looking weak because
And
they had
all
to
four
use-
champions had their moment of offense as well.
Mm-hmm. So, honestly, I will eat my words. Titles have significance. I'll eat my words. I'm just not a fan of how they're not going to be seen on TV, but they have the rings. I don't know if they're going to wear the rings for like the first show or couple shows.
Triple H did bring up forming some sort of Infinity Gauntlet with them,
Yeah.
basically. So that could also hint at longer title reigns as well. But we'll leave that up to booking.
But yeah, no, I'll eat my words. This was a significant pay-per-view.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things that got set up here. There's like I said, yeah, ton of things that got set up. You can go so many different directions.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know where we see Cody
Yeah.
next. But I think this pay-per-view in all, I'm gonna give it a B minus. Just a step above mid.
Yeah, C plus. Like there are some moments like the cash in, like the tag title retaining, and then just how like insignificant certain things felt heading in. But there was still a lot of action. We'll give it that. Like no one left this PLE looking weak either.
Mhm.
Like all members of all matches looked like they could continue in whatever story they want to be a part of. So it's like,
The reason why my grade is a B minus, the match I was most hyped for was the most disappointing match of the night. They got it over quickly. It was the first match.
oh yeah,
Got it
the
over
bloodline
quickly and
match. Yeah.
done. But like I said, I think that sets up Survivor Series War
Yeah.
Games to be more action based.
That is the thing. I do think this card suffered a little bit from 7-match syndrome.
Honestly, it's funny because people were asking for more than a 5-match card, but I think it kind of showed that the reason why they do 5-match cards is because that's what they're good at.
Yeah. It's
So,
like you can pack
honestly-
so much action in the 5 card.
Honestly, just keep doing 5-match cards. The
Yeah.
only pay-per-view, the only 2 pay-per-views that really shouldn't have 5 matches are Mania and SummerSlam,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
But those also have 2 nights to squeeze certain moments in, so you can even have more than a 5-match night and still pack a lot in as well.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I said, B minus.
C plus.
And yeah, I will be getting punished for being wrong.
Yeah. We have our sequential idea, but put in the comments what you want to see Caleb do. Nothing too aggressive or graphic, please. We know some of y'all who try to put up comments.
But this is all. Yeah. So like, comment, subscribe. This is it from us, the Disqualified Boys, minus Gordon, sadly. But yeah, thank you for watching and thank you for your time.
We'll see you next time.